Welcome back to Asinine Radio, a weekly podcast where we talk about music, and, well, that's pretty much it. So, let's go!
I guess you're gone? You've been lost?
No, I'm here.
Oh, I didn't hear any haze from you.
I did so many haze, and I did a lot of hardcore squeals.
Did you really?
I did.
I heard none of
it.
Well, none of it.
Well.
All right. Well, this is Asinine Radio. This is the weekly music podcast where every week we take whatever band or artist we're doing and we listen to all of their records and rank them so that you do not have to, because I can tell you right now, you're not going to want to rank all 14 Chumbawamba records like we did. So while you're listening, go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, give us 5 stars. Go to all the social media is at Asinine Radio. We have a Discord server if you want to join that. Hit us up. We'll send you the link. We have a phone number you can call, leave us a voicemail, shoot us a text. The phone number is 503-893-5307. And if you didn't already know, my name is Tyler, and way out there, hundreds of miles away, is Jeff. So, Jeff, let's get into our 6 degrees with Tom DeLonge. I forgot about that. Mm-hmm. So if you don't know what this segment is, this is where we connect whatever band or artist we're doing to Tom DeLonge in 6 degrees or less. The intro is done.
A lot of talking.
So do you have anything? Yeah, a lot of pod talking. But I got through it. I got through it okay.
It was fine. I've heard better. It was fine.
Oh, I have too. So do you have anything for the 6 degrees?
I do.
Oof. What do you got?
I wanted to do 2. I wanted to do one for each of the only members that have been there since day 1 to when they stopped. And it's just Boff and then the other girl. I forgot her name.
Lou or
Yep.
Alice?
Boff and Lou. Those are the only 2 members that have been there from day 1 to day ending thing. But it was fucking hard because they haven't done like anything. And god damn, it was actually really difficult. And so I only did 1 because it took me a solid like 25 minutes.
So long.
I know, it was tough. So, Boff, both of these nuts. So Boff, who is the guitarist, was a fan of fell running, which is I googled fell running, and it's just you're running up and down hills and shit in England. Like that's what people do. I don't know.
Oh, is that the thing where they like tumble down the hill?
No, know
what I'm talking about though?
Yeah, that's really fun. That's funny to watch. Fell running is just like running up and down hills and shit.
What?
That's it. Yeah, that's it. But anyway, Boff was a big fan of fell running and even wrote a song about famed fell runner Bill Smith. Bill Smith was friends with another fell runner named Ron Hill. Already boring as fuck already, but that gets a little bit interesting. So Ron Hill...
Guy with the name Hill as well.
Yeah. Ron Hill was the first Brit to win the Boston Marathon in 1970. He even broke the record, the previous record, by like several minutes. So that's kind of cool. So Ron Hill to the Boston Marathon. Now the Boston Marathon had a song written about the bombing that happened in 2014, 13?
Yeah, I think it was 14. Yeah.
The Boston Marathon had a song written about the bombing by the Dropkick Murphys and then the boss, Bruce Springsteen. They both wrote a song about the bombing. The boss, on one of his later albums, had Josh Freese playing drums, and Josh Freese played at that Warped Tour show for Blink because Travis was MIA.
Yeah,
and,
you're right.
There we go. Yeah, that was. That was tough. It was tough. It was tough.
Okay, so mine is very, very different from yours. I decided to go a more obscure way. I thought it was a little bit fun, so we start with the song by Chumbawamba called Amnesia. This is one of the songs off of Tub Thumper. And the song samples part of a movie called Rising Damp. And in that sample, an actor named Richard Beckinsale is speaking. He's in the song in that sample. Richard Beckinsale's daughter, Kate Beckinsale, who we all know from Underworld and other movies, she briefly dated Pete Davidson, actor or comedian Pete Davidson.
Kate Beckinsale
Pete Davidson,
did?
yeah, she did like 2 years ago.
Wow.
Super weird, I know, because she's beautiful and he's Pete Davidson.
I don't know. I don't know. What the fuck do I know?
But I mean, it's Kate Beckinsale, and she's anyway.
She's Pete Davidson, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Pete Davidson is currently dating Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian's sister is Kourtney Kardashian, who is currently married to Travis Barker, and Travis Barker has played in the band Boxcar Racer with Tom DeLonge. So there you go.
Damn.
That's my connection. Perfect. Great stuff.
That was a connection, yeah.
It was a very stupid connection. Very Daily Mail kind of connection, but
well, I mean, mine was about fucking people running up and down hills, which I guess is a big thing. Like it's a big sport, if you can call running a sport. But yeah, it's a big thing.
Well,
I don't
it's
know.
a sport if you're racing somebody.
I don't consider running a sport. No,
it's a competitive sport. Yeah,
stupid.
it is.
It's silly. No, in order to be a sport, you have to at least have some type of like offense and defense. It's dumb. No.
All right. Well, that's all that's all we have for a 6 Degrees with Tom DeLonge. Let's just jump right into our album rankings. Like I said, if you don't already know, we're doing Chumbawamba. We're going to be ranking 14 of all 14 of their records, so you guys don't have to do it. We did the what is it? What am I trying to say? The legwork here for everyone. Mm-hmm. So while we're doing this, we're also going to give our biggest banger from each of them, if we even have a banger. So let's start with you, Jeff. What is your number 14? What is the worst Chumbawamba record? Go.
Chumbawamba. I didn't think any of these were like terrible, to be honest. Like I at worst, I just didn't remember what the fuck I listened to. And that's the boy bands have won their 13th album, 2008. Did not remember a goddamn thing from this one at all. And it was bizarre. But like, I don't know, maybe I was just burnt out by this time because a lot of these later ones are just, it's like one fucking album. But I didn't think it was like terrible. Yeah. But the actual title of this one apparently is like the longest album title ever. Even holds like the Guinness record for that. And if you read the album title itself, it's kind of cool. I agree with the sentiment that it's saying, and it goes along the lines of Chumbawamba's long stance of kind of like a fuck you attitude. And essentially the worst, what it kind of says, what I think it says, is like the worst thing you can do to music and culture in general is to not change it. To like staunchly preserve something and mimic it is like detrimental to its growth. Like things need to change to make them better. And I like that.
Yeah, I do too.
I dig that.
I do too. I like how they did that as well.
But I would never listen to this ever again. And I honestly, like, you could put a gun to my head and I have no idea. I can't even name a fucking song on this album. I don't even know what the sound was. I'm just assuming that it's another one of their vocal harm folky outputs.
Ooh, so you don't like the folky stuff?
Oh, easy, Tiger.
Oof. Okay, so we're gonna get through some of these pretty quick because some of them are either trash or they just sound like other albums. So my number 14 is English Rebel Songs 1381 to 1914. So this is their third album. This is their third album from 1988. I have no banger. It's just a bunch of old folk songs, mostly a cappella, and I just don't like this kind of stuff. I don't like this style. It's uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable. I don't like it. I don't even want to. This is like Renaissance Fair shit. I don't care about the Renaissance Fair that much, and I really did not like this. I almost didn't finish it. This is the only record I almost didn't finish because I was so irritated by it. So yeah, English Rebel Songs, fucking stupid. It's dumb. So that's my 14. What do you got for 13?
A sing song and a scrap. Sing song and a scrap. The 12th
sing
album, 2005. This is another one in their teens, essentially, right? 12, 13, 14, all these albums. I don't know. The folky stuff is fine here. I didn't enjoy this one because it was just more like folk pop inspired, and all these songs were just kind of poppy. There's no hint of like any kind of aggression or their anarchy punk roots aside from like subject material, which I still respect because my God, like their consistency is just unmatched. But there's a song called Bella Ciao that I really love, and I think it's a fucking cool song. And there's been some incredible covers of this. I've heard like a cappella versions of Bella Ciao. I've heard some like hardcore punk covers of Bella Ciao. But their cover of it's like one of the worst I've ever heard. And it was terrible. Extremely disappointing.
Oh, shit. Okay. So my number 13, well, let's just say this because I actually ended up listening to the soundtrack. So I listened to 15 Chumbawamba records, and this is where I'd put the soundtrack. Oh, wow. The soundtrack isn't bad. It came out in 2003. It's for a movie called Revenge's Tragedy or something like that. And it's really just a score. It's just music, and like it's described, it's a lot of ambient stuff because it is a music score. It's not really bad. It's just there's no point in listening to it unless you really love the movie or a weirdo and really love music scores, like Sloan. Yeah. He would probably get this on vinyl. But yeah, no, this is where the soundtrack would be. But anyway, my actual number 13 is their last record. Is their last? Yeah, their last record, ABCDEFG, 15th album, or 14th album, I should say, out in 2010, right before they broke up. This is part of the group of music that was just really boring folk music. This is when they were a 5-piece band. This is when they put out their worst music. So I have no banger off this one. It's completely forgettable. It's not that I wanted to turn it off, but I just couldn't wait till it finished because I was just fucking bored. Yeah. Just super fucking bored. So yeah, that's my number 13. And honestly, some of these can be interchangeable because I really can't tell you the difference between them all. So what do you got for 12?
The same album, ABCDFG. This is
okay.
I think there's some heavy like big band swing tones here, like half of it. But the other half was just like traditional folk music, like Celtic Renaissance folk type music, strong harms, melodies, but like replayability, I don't know, because there was just no contrast here. There's a song called "Singing Out the Days." It was essentially a pirate shanty. I liked it a lot, but it's a pirate shanty. They all sound the same.
Yeah, they're all silly.
Drink out melodies, yo ho.
All right, so that was your 12, right? Yeah. Yeah. My 12 was The Boy Bands Have Won. Their I guess their 13th record, right?
Yeah.
And 2008. I got no banger. I mean, this is just I couldn't tell the difference between this and ABCDFG. It's just soft folk music and forgettable, honestly, just very forgettable. Like I said, they were a 5-piece band. They lost all their excitement, and they had a lot of guests on their records at this time. Like one of the guys from Oysterhead was on, I don't remember which record, but he was on one of them. And yeah, it was very folk-based and boring. So that's what I got for my number 12. The Boy Bands Have Won. So what do you got for 11?
My bottom 3 are their last 3 albums that they released. And
okay,
it's all like they could have condensed all 3 albums into one EP because at most there's that much material that I would like. But their last 3 albums were like the most difficult to get through because I just didn't care at all about any of them.
All right. So then what do you got for 11?
Swingin' with Raymond, their 7th album, 95. This is a
really?
Yeah. This one was kind of cool though. This was a deliberate attempt at creating like 2 sides to the album with different feelings. The first half of this album is essentially pop music with like minor folk stuffs, and the second half is pretty damn good Chumbawamba. Like more vocalists and better songs that are just faster and more diverse. But that first half was brutal. That was just, I mean, I don't know.
I'm surprised. I'm really surprised.
That first half was rough. Otherwise, this would be higher. But I don't know. This is it. Like lyrically, this was a cool album. They're very aggressive in how they cover topics. Like homosexuality was a very aggressive topic that they were covering on this album. But yeah, like the second half of this was fucking pretty goddamn good, but that first half puts it at number 11.
I'm very, very surprised. Wow. Okay. All right. So my number 11 is A Sing Song and a Scrap. The 12th album from 2005. And I got no banger on this one because this is one of that group, that folk music shit that they were putting out. And honestly, I have nothing more to say because I will never, ever go back to it in my whole life.
That's fucking trash.
So what do you got for number 10?
Ready Mades, their 10th album. Oh, look at that. 2002, the same year that the Anaheim Angels won the World Series. Overall, this
but you didn't say the
album-
world champions, but that's
the
fine.
world
You
champion
fucked up.
Anaheim Angels, yeah.
There we go.
This was forgettable. There was the reason why it's higher than the other forgettable albums is because it was kind of dancey, like Moby-like dancey, and
Yeah.
it was kind of like cool, and made me want to go back and listen to Moby again because I thought like maybe he did make cool music. Because honestly, I've not listened to Moby since like high school. I actually, honestly, let's be honest, I've not listened to Moby since he was gonna get smoked by Obi. That was the last
I was waiting.
time.
I was waiting for that joke. I was waiting for it.
That was the last time I even thought about Moby. Ready Made was interesting because of like the electronic kind of dance atmosphere it was conveying, and I was interested. Didn't like
All
it.
right.
Would never listen again. I probably give Ready Made like a 1, to be honest. If we're
Really
rating
that
these
low?
ones here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shit.
It's not
Okay.
good.
So anybody listening, we do have our world famous 3-point rating system. When you hear us throw out ratings, a 3 is a perfect album. 2 is a good album you're going to continue to listen to. 1 is a bad album, but give it a shot. And 0 is the worst thing you've ever heard. So that's pretty low. Pretty low.
Yeah, Ready Mades I would give a 1. My bottom 4 I both sub 1. Like you do not need to listen to these. But like Ready Made you should at least listen to because it's kind of different from everything else that they've done besides the album of the week.
All right, that's fair. All right, so my number 10 is their 4th album, Slap, from 1990. This one I was a little disappointed by because the earlier stuff was very punk, and this album wasn't like that, and it wasn't like what I had heard on Tub Thumper. So to me, this was very 80s pop based. It reminded parts of it reminded me a lot of the B-52s, like kind of the way they sang. Some of the more like melodies reminded me of them, and yeah, it was hard for me to get into. And really, the only song I liked on it was "Car Trouble," because of that walking bass line was so jazzy. It was the best, literally the best part of this whole fucking record. I love that. I love that song. That song could be playlistable. Could be playlistable. But yeah, so that's my number 10 is Slap, the 4th record. So then what do you got for 9?
9 is Anarchy. Their 6th album, 94. There's some serious like Celtic folk stuffs going into this one. I like this. Yeah. The pop moments are really good, really catchy. I enjoyed this album. I did enjoy this album. The artwork is fucking super aggressive. It shows a baby being borned straight from the vag. Like that is, if that's not like pretty fucking punk rock, then I don't know what is. And that is
True. Spotify censored it though. They just made it a like a painting of some flowers.
That's the other album artwork version.
Yeah.
And this has only been pressed twice on the vinyls because I was just curious to see how much the original cover would go for. And so the original cover has only been pressed twice, both European presses, and they go for about $80, $90.
That's not as bad as I would think.
Me neither, but I think just because this is such an obscure band and this is just such an obscure album that people are buying this solely for the cover. But the music's solid. I did like the music for this one.
All right, so that's your number 9. My number 9. Wait, what was your banger off that one?
I don't really have bangers yet.
You know, okay, that's fine. No, it's totally fine. My number 9 is Ready Mades, 10th record, 2002, same year that the world champion Anaheim Angels won the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say that right?
Kinda.
Okay, whatever. So Ready Mades, this one, like you said, it's mostly Euro dance pop. That's what it is. Like they never went this deep into that genre. prior to this or even after this. It's very unique. There's a little bit of folk thrown in there, but overall, it's a fucking dance record, and it was good. I mean, I don't think I would ever go back to it. I think I would give this a 1.5. Yeah, I give this a 1.5. I think everything from here on out is going to be a 1.5 or higher. That's what it is. So my biggest banger off this one is "Home with Me," because it actually the beat and the song itself reminded me a little bit of the Postal Service. It kind of had that electronic kind of quietness to it, and I thought the vocal melody was really nice in this one as well. So yeah, Ready Mades. It's my number 9. So what do you got for number 8?
Not bad. Number 8, What You See Is What You Get. WYSIWYG. Their 9th album, 2000. This one's cool. Again, a lot of dance and kind of Euro pop elements here. There's also a lot of shouting from the band that I kind of liked. And when they aren't shouting, everything kind of dies down and is calm. So I like that contrast. There's also some controversy with this album as well. Like apparently one of the B-side songs is essentially just a list of politicians they wish would disappear in a plane crash. That's just so fucking stupid. Like that. Oh, that's just like I love. There's so many parts of this band that I really, really respect and really, really love. But like that, dude, that's just fucking dumb. That is in such bad taste.
It is really bad taste. Yeah.
Luckily, it was before September 11th. Before like saying something like that would land you in jail or some type of camp that you're rounding people up in. But yeah, it was fine. The song "The Health and Happiness Show" and "I'm Coming Out." Health and Happiness because it starts off with music that would remind you of some type of like 50s game show. Very calm, little jazzy, piano synth focused, it's fun. Mm-hmm. And then "I'm Coming Out" because it's really like a rad backup vocal harm track. And there's some like cool ska upstrokes in there, which I don't think they ever did besides that one song. I liked it.
No, they do it on some other songs.
I liked it.
The upstrokes on another album. But okay, so "What You See Is What You Get" is your number 8. This is also my number 8. This is "What You See Is What You Get" is my number 8. I like this one. It's kind of later on in their career. They're still kind of dabbling with the many different genres, which they kind of were known for. I think from in the late 80s to I'd say like the early 2000s. And this one really jumps all over the place from the 60s pop stuff, like you said in "I'm Coming Out." I think that's what it was. There's a lot of like 60s pop in there. There's hip hop thrown in here and there. There's some scratching from the turntables. I mean, it's a little bit of punk, indie. This one really is all over the place, but it doesn't have the same charm as some of their earlier records did, who were also genre hopping so much. But I don't know. This is a solid record. I dug this one, surprisingly. And my favorite song is "The Health and Happiness Show."
Oh,
it has that lounge kind of samba style to it, and the vibraphone.
That's a better descriptor is lounge, because I was thinking like game show, but lounge is definitely a better descriptor.
Lounge samba, and it has the vibraphone, which you put a vibraphone in there, I'm instantly hooked. I'm gonna love it. I love the
vibraphone in the butt, and I'll eat it.
Exactly. So yeah, that's my number 8. His "What You See Is What You Get." So what do you got for 7? Go.
Shh. Their 5th album from 1992. Shh. That's the name of the album. Stupid. There's stuff on this album that is really unique to their history. Like obviously the hip hop stuff is very unique. I think this is the only time that they really put it like in the forefront, and it wasn't like a backup idea. And they had MC Fusion, who's been on several albums, but this album is the only time that it, like I said, it's been a hip hop track, not a pop track with hip hop elements or a folk track with hip hop elements. This is a hip hop track, and this guy MC Fusion is one half, I guess, of the rap duo Credit to the Nation, which I didn't care to read about the history just because I didn't care, but I did read that the group went on a short tour with Chumbawamba in these days, and they called it the "Fuck Me Jesus Tour." And
oh my God.
that's It's so fucking cool. I love it. Oh my god, that's so awesome. And there was a good amount of poking fun at like organized religion on this album, and I liked it. But there's also some like really heavy and aggressive kind of like hardcore punk songs in the Chumbawamba style on this album.
Mm-hmm.
Short bits, but they're there. Solid album. I liked it. I really enjoyed it. I liked the song "Look No Strings." It had deep harms. It mimicked like the church choir sound, and kind of sounded like it took a small sample from "Hark the Herald Angels Sings," because they do say like "Hark the Herald Angels," but it's like in a different melody. And I don't know. It was cool. I like this album. It was all over the place, and I dig that that "Fuck Me Jesus" tour. I would buy a shirt in a heartbeat.
That's pretty good. That's good. All right, so my number 7 is their 12th album from 2004 called Un. I think it's just Un, right? Un. Yeah, who knows? This one is. I was surprised at how much I like this one because it is more. It's like pretty much all acoustic with a little bit of folk in there. And I don't know. I think I like the kind of ethereal sounding, I guess, vibe. Oh, I hate the word vibe, but style. I guess.
Bitch, bro.
Yeah. I think that's what I liked about it. And there's some really cool synth and kind of soundscapes in there. And I liked this album. It was solid, and I was very surprised. And my biggest banger off this one is Be With You. Because of those reasons. I think that is like the most ethereal, the most kind of like pretty sounding song on the record, and I thought it was quite a banger, quite the banger. So yeah, this one surprised me. I really didn't think it would be this high up in my list, but there you go. My number 7. Nice. So what do you got for 6?
That's my number 6, baby. All
right.
UN.
Why though?
I don't know. It's like you said, it's a little more melancholy, musically speaking, and there's some bluegrass here. There's some notes of bluegrass, but overall, the music is first, and the harms are secondary, and they have really good harms. Like they really do. They've really mastered that aspect of singing, where they can just barbershop quartet. But sometimes it's like, come on, man, I don't want another fucking album of that. Take a step back. In this album, they took a step back. And that's what made for a strong album. I really like the song Everything You Know Is Wrong. It's about like this whole misinformation thing. But it's got a solid like swinging melody. And this was the most bluegrass song on the album. And it was extremely fun. And I loved it. And when you dumb down like bluegrass like this, you kind of strip it down to like its most basic form, you're getting a sort of like innocent type of delivery where I don't know, it's automatically just endearing because it's very similar to like why people love Neil Young. It's just two different things, a man and his guitar playing together. You get bluegrass. It's very, very dumbed down. So automatically you're now captivated. You're listening. The audience is listening. I liked it.
It's true.
I dug it. I'd probably.
It's a good description of it.
I'd probably buy it on the vinyls. I probably would.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I think we're starting to get into the point where we're buying things on the vinyls.
Okay. See, I'm not at the vinyl point yet. Not quite yet. But I would get a few of these records on.
Oh baby.
Yeah. There are a few records I'll get on vinyl. Yeah.
Oh baby.
Or I would like to get, but I actually didn't look up anything yet to see how much the cost would be for any of them. But
I was gonna add stuff to my want list, but then I was afraid that you were gonna look at my like recently added want list and then figure out my rankings from that.
Because I would.
I held off.
Because I always have my Discogs page open on my dashboard.
Always.
Discogs on my computer. So yeah, I always see when you update. So that's so good. So I always kind of know what you're going to talk about on the next episode of the podcast because you'll add it to your collection. So I'm like, okay, that's what he's going to talk about that this time around.
And it always happens like if I'm drinking or if I'm out with somebody and they say, oh, remember this band? Like, oh, fuck yeah, I remember that band. And then I'll write in my little notes on my phone and then I'll write just the band name. And then like I'll go into it a little bit and then, oh yeah, I do like that album. That was a good album. And then I'll add to my Discogs. And then I'll add it to the list of bands that we want to do.
I do the same thing. Oh shit! All right, so that was your number 6. Un.
Yeah. Untus.
Un. So my number 6 is "Swingin' with Raymond," 7th record from 1995. Wow. This is I mean we talked about this briefly. I mean you did at least, and yeah, the first half of the record is pretty much Lou Watts and her singing over an acoustic guitar, a little bit more folky, but I liked it. I thought it was really good, and it was kind of a nice break from everything we had kind of heard prior. And then the second half hits, and that second half is fucking good. It's really good. And this album actually reminded me a lot of the Black Flag record Family Man, where the first half is just Henry Rollins, spoken word stuff, and then the second half is just like chaotic jazz punk music. That's kind of what this reminded me of, was that Black Flag record. And I kind of wonder if it was maybe influenced by it, because it's so wildly different genre wise. But no, I like this record a lot. I thought it was solid. So yeah, I don't have a banger off this one, but dude, it's fucking good. It's really good. So what do you got for number 5?
Finally, number 5, English Rebel Songs. This is the one that you fucking hated. This is their third. This is 1988. This is just a collection of poems and songs written at various points in history, mostly surrounding like protests and fuck you to authority. And they recorded it once early in their career, then re-recorded it in 2003 when they've gotten better at like singing. And I mean, this is what you said. It's just what you think. This is a cappella protest stuff. But it's absolutely magnificent. I love this. It reminds me of why I like this folk stuff so much, because it's very much a precursor to all modern rock and hip hop's version of "Fuck the Police." Like, this is it. Like, these protest songs of dating back to 1200, 1500, like Renaissance era protest songs. Like, this is how people fucked the police. And for them to just read poems and kind of like church them up a little bit, but still keep like the intent true. I love that. And I just love folk music. And this was very much reminding me of why I just like very good kind of like spoken word, folk, poetry, things like this. And I absolutely love this. And I for sure would get this on the vinyls.
Did they have they ever pressed it?
I didn't look. I told you I didn't I only looked at Anarchy, and then as I was doing it, I was like, I probably shouldn't add this because then he's going to see it. So then I stopped looking.
I love it.
No spoilers.
I love it. All right then. So what are we on? That was your 5. Let's see here. All right. Which was, I can't believe it was that high. It's silly.
You should have known. Like, as you're listening to that, you were probably like, okay, Jeff's going to like this because it's fucking terrible. And
I knew you would like it. Yeah. I totally knew you would like it, but I didn't think you'd put it that high. But I knew you'd have a lot of nice things to say about it.
It's great. And like every poem, like, I mean, that would have been a cool one to do in itself, because every single poem, if you clicked on like the Wikipedia article, we're talking just a massive thing of just what that is about, what protest that is about, what rebellion that is about, what picket line that was taken from, who wrote it, when did they write it, why did they write it? Like, it was unreal.
Yeah, that part would have been cool. I mean, honestly, that's the only thing I would want to talk about. I would never want to listen to those songs. I mean, I wouldn't even want to play them on the pod.
Terrible.
That's how annoyed I'd be. But anyway, number 5 for me is Shh, 5th record from 1992. This one is this is the first time that they kind of dabbled in all these different genres. I mean, there's a lot of cool funk stuff. It's a little bit less punk, but they do jump around a lot, and I like it. It's not as good as some of the other records they put out, which I'm not going to talk about yet because I don't want to spoil what's coming up next. But yeah, this is a good attempt at branching, like properly branching out and experimenting, and I think it's solid. This is a solid record, and I think this is one of the records that's not on Spotify. If I remember correctly,
a fucking handful of these dumb.
I think there was like
Spotify.
5 records that weren't on Spotify, which is stupid because a lot of those are my top, bangers. But my biggest banger off this album is Snip, Snip, Snip. This is a straight up funk song. Like that guitar, funk guitar line is front and center. It leads the song pretty much all the way through. It's probably one of the faster songs they've ever done. It's really exciting, and it's pretty damn catchy on top of it. This is a fucking solid song, and if it was on Spotify, it would for sure be playlisted. It's a great fucking song.
Wow.
So, yeah, Shh is my number 5. So, what do you got for number 4?
Pictures of Starving Children Sell Records, their first album, their debut, 1986. And this was the first thing that I listened to after Tub Thumper, and I was just kind of like, what the fuck? There's so much folk embedded in this. They storytell very well, and these songs form a sort of like long form story as a whole, but the individual songs stand on their own. It just is fine. It's pretty fucking good. It's a pretty goddamn good like debut album. Dutiful Servants and Political Masters. That was my favorite. Great bass line. And the song like builds to this screaming battle between like the guy and the girl singer. And it's unreal. It is absolutely fucking good. Yeah, so my top 5 for sure I would buy on the vinyls.
Okay. I'm not quite there on the vinyls, but yeah, so that was your number 4, right?
Number 4.
Wait, what was your banger off this one then?
Dutiful Servants and Political Masters.
Okay. Did you say that?
I did.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. Just listen.
You know me. I just hear. I don't listen.
Y'all know me. Still the same OG.
All right. So my number 4 is Anarchy Burger. This is their 6th record from 1994, and this is them genre hopping at their best. This is one of the most eclectic records I feel that they've ever put out, even more so than Tub Thumper. And dude, there's just a lot going on, man. The from reggae to techno to folk to some ethereal pop to hip hop. Sometimes it's damn, dude. It's a crazy record, and most of the vocals are either Lou Watts or Alice. But I don't wait. Was Alice in the band at the time? I'm not sure if she was, but yeah, it's mostly the female vocal, the women singing, but. Which is kind of unusual because prior to this, it was pretty much a mixed bag. It was pretty 50-50 split down the middle. But yeah, Anarchy it's fucking great. There's my favorite song is, I think it's the first song, The Anarchist, or Give the Anarchist a Cigarette, because this has a lot of reggae. And you were talking about like the upstrokes and everything. This song has the upstrokes. The first song on the record is the upstrokes. So. Yeah, this is a killer record. I would get this on vinyl. This on vinyl.
This is your 4.
My 4B. I would get. Isn't that crazy? I would get 4 records.
You
would
get
these
4
records.
Chumbawamba records on the vinyl.
I would give. I never thought in a million years I would ever say I would get any Chumbawamba on the vinyl. But yeah, no, this is where I would start getting them on wax, as some people would say. But and also, naming the record Anarchy makes. Really kind of goes along with the sound of this record because it is all over the place. It's anarchy. It's fucking everything that shouldn't belong together, but it still works somehow. It's chaos. I love it. I think this record's awesome.
Yeah.
I like this record a lot. So yeah, that's my 4. So what do you got for number 3?
The album of the week, Tub Thumper.
Tub Thumpins. So that's also my number 3. So let's get into your number 2.
Number 2 is Never Mind the Ballots. Never mind the
bollocks. What the fuck
bollocks.
is your number 1?
One that you hated.
Wait,
Never
which
Mind
one?
the Ballots. This is their second album.
Okay,
the year we were born did. This one was fucking crazy good. Like great musicianship and writing. They took their first album and just amped it up. There's even some like really aggressive songs here that are fast and punchy. Overall, it was like the bass for me that stood out. Just constantly doing shit, going up and down the fretboard, sounding so squirrely. And it was, I just thought like, wow, you guys got so much better from your debut album. Because this is essentially like their debut album on like crack. Like they took a bunch of fucking crack pills or something and made a better debut album. This was unbelievable. But the last song, Here's to the Rest of Your Life. It's 12 minutes long. It's just this bizarre circus. Punchy bass line, goofy piano, a lot of yelling, some blown out trumpet sounds. It was just good stuff, man. It was just really, really, really good stuff. And I love this album. Could not believe it.
So this is also my number 2. Never mind the ballads. Like you said, 1987, the year we were born. And I agree with most of what you say, but I feel like this album overall is a little less punk driven than their first record. This is just an extension of that first record. This is fucking good. And I also agree with you on the bass playing. Her name is Mavis Dillon, and she played on, I think, their first 3 or 4 records, but she wasn't on Tub Thumper. She had left. Yeah, she left after the 4th record. But damn, dude, she's fucking good. I think she played trumpet as well. But yeah, dude, her bass playing on the first 2 records are.
She's never.
I was
stops.
blown away. Yeah, she doesn't fucking stop, and they're so squirrely. I was blown away by her. I mean, she was the highlight of both of these records for me, and I would absolutely give this on vinyl, like without a doubt. It's killer, and yeah, I don't know. My favorite song is Amen. It's the shortest song. I think it's like 2 minutes and like 20 seconds or something like that. It's the fastest song. And once again, Mavis fucking rips it fucking up on bass. It's a beyond banger. Honestly, that song is a beyond banger. And I can't playlist it because this album's not on fucking Spotify.
I know, it's so annoying.
Yeah, it's fucking dumb. It makes no sense why the first record's on there, but then the next three or four are not. What the fuck is going on? It's fucking stupid. But yeah, that's my number 2.
Together.
So what do you got for number 1?
Slap, dude. Slap.
Slap.
Yeah, their 4th album. You did not like this one.
No, it's so 80s.
This one slapped hard, as the kids would say. Just kidding. Dumb. This is for sure a more pop or upbeat approach to what they'll eventually double down on, and then abandon. But these songs are fantastic. They have subtle Europop influence in like the way they develop and the way they drop, but they aren't quite dance songs. They are heavy, like because even like the piano stuff's like hit harder than you would expect them to. There's heavy parts of this album, and it's easily digestible, sort of like dance with their anarcho punk sound, and it makes the listener ponder some serious issues, while also just like kind of like being knee deep in the shit, and not realizing that wow, these are really fucking good songs, until you're 3 songs deep and you are just kind of like wow, I am 100% focused. I am 100% on board with this. It's good. But Tiananmen Square. This is a perfect example of the blend of dance, anarcho-punk with socially woke subject material. Everything about the song was fantastic. And the difference between this one and like their last 3 albums is, 3, 4, 5 songs deep in their last 3 albums, I realized that I had no idea what was going on. And it could have I could have been listening to the radio at that point. But with this one, like 3, 4 songs deep, I was already like, damn, there's already been 3 songs that I remember the choruses to. There's already been 3 songs that I remember like the time signatures to, that I remember whatever key they were in, the lyrics, what they were talking about. I could pick up on the nuance of it. Like that's just how good I thought Slap was.
Yeah. I think also you've been a little bit blinded by all this 80s music recently, like from the Wedding Singer soundtrack. Like you're like in a full 80s mood right now.
It's possible.
That's why it's as high as it is, because there's a lot of straight up 80s pop here.
80s
you'll
one of the
move on
worst
from
decades in music history, for sure.
Oh yeah.
But that's not to say there wasn't like some beyond bangers that came out of the 80s. That's just silly boy talk. And
there's some good stuff.
All of the beyond bangers that came out of the 80s in like the pop realm are on the Wedding Singer soundtrack. I'm just going to say it. If it was on the Wedding Singer soundtrack, it is not a beyond banger.
Okay, then let's you got anything else about Slap?
No, get into your pictures of starving children. Sell records.
Yeah, that's my number one. 1986, baby. 1986. This album is pretty punk. I was very, very surprised by this. I mean, it's not like, hardcore punk or anything like that. It's just I couldn't think of another band to kind of compare them to, but it was punk music, and I like you. I really like the storytelling. I thought it was really captivating and interesting. There weren't a lot of like harmonies or like super strong melodies or anything like that, but it was a lot of fun listening to this record, and I was really kind of blown away by it. I thought it was really great, and my favorite song is Unilever because it's a fast song, and once again the bass playing fucking kills me. She's great. She's fucking great. And there's like nothing written about this girl. After Chumbawamba, there's nothing. I really couldn't find anything about her. So yeah, it sucks because she fucking killed it. So I don't know. I don't have much more to say. I mean, I think this is an album that you really have to listen to and listen to the lyrics and just kind of enjoy the ride. They have a lot to say. And on this record, it's almost like done in a spoken word way. So it's a lot easier to follow. They're not trying to like be ambiguous about anything. Everything is super straightforward. And it's just kind of refreshing to hear that. Because some of the shit on Tub Thumper is just like, dude, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And I have to go by like what other people have said about the song. Because I just don't see it.
Just gibberish.
Yeah. But this album is to the point, and I totally dig it. So yeah, it's my number one. Pictures of Starving Children Sell Records.
We did it.
We fucking did it. We listened to all of the Chumbawamba records.
That's nuts. That's
dude.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah, I can't believe it. But we'll talk about it more on the main episode, because if you don't already know, we're going to do their record, Tub Thumper. So that should be cool. So listen to that. Thanks for listening to this. You know what to do. I'm not going to do the stupid outro. So that's it.
You love the stupid outro. That's your favorite part.
No. Not when we do this. Not when we do this.
Outro and now with the old.